What's up guys, Rising Am Disc Golf here, and we are back. Today we are going to be doing a review and comparison of the very new AJ Risley LUCID-X WARDEN Tour Series, and we are going to be comparing that with the Hybrid Waffle Warden from last year and a Lucid Warden. So stay tuned, let's go. Alright guys, so like you heard in the intro, this is a very exciting video for me. Yesterday I picked up the 2020 AJ Tour Series LUCID-X WARDEN. It is currently February 22nd and they don't come out online until February 27th. So if you are watching this before they come out, I hope you get some knowledge out of this video before you go purchase or not purchase yours, so you know what to expect. Or if you're watching this later in the year, you'll still know what you're gonna get in comparison of the other Wardens from the past with the very new LUCID-X Warden. Quickly, pardon the gazebo situation above my head. I'm out on the deck like I usually am, but I had to switch the angle due to the sun right now as I am filming this earlier in the day. Even though we still have a couple feet of snow here in Minnesota, it is about 40 degrees outside today. Very beautiful. We can hear sounds of spring, birds are chirping, water's melting, so hopefully spring is close. But now we'll get to what you are all here for, the LUCID-X Warden. Starting off with the feel and profile. So the LUCID-X Warden is made out of obviously dynamic disc LUCID-X plastic, and that is very similar to their Lucid, but it is more stiff and theoretically resulting in a more stable flight. The LUCID-X Warden has that very stiff feel, and especially compared to the Hybrid, is a lot less tacky. One of the profile differences is on the LUCID-X Warden, it's still got that kind of rise that a Warden has. That's just how the mold is. You're not going to find yourself a board flat Warden, but the flight plate, the very top of the LUCID-X Warden, is very flat. So if you like a flatter feeling disc, I know I like flat throwing putters, it does feel good in the hand. It does feel just a little bit more shallow than the Hybrid Warden, I think, for that reason. It still feels deep though, so if you're like me and you like a shallower throwing putter like the Maiden, you could give it a try, but it still is going to be that deeper feel. And like all other Wardens, the LUCID-X Warden is indeed beadless. Yeah, that seems to be the profile situation. Compared to the Lucid I have here is actually pretty flat topped, but it's still got a little more of a rise, not really dome, but a little more of a rise than the LUCID-X does. And my Lucid and Hybrid are pretty similar, so that is the profile. And one thing I'll be talking about a lot throughout this video is I really don't think the flights are all that different. Sure, we will see just a little more stability with the LUCID-X and just a little more resistance to turn. I think that's the big key. It's not necessarily more stability, just a little less resistance to turn, where with the Hybrid we could see on a flat and high powered shot, we could see it go straight with a little bit of turn, but it'll always fade. The LUCID-X Warden will usually have that same amount of fade, just more straight to fade. And the LUCID-X Warden also does hold up in the wind a little better. There were a couple throws with like a mild 10 to 15 mile an hour gust, and it held up right through that, as the LUCID-X plastic is known to do. So I think before we get to the flight, the main difference here is just the feel in the hand. Between the Lucid and the Hybrid, you've got more of a tacky, opaque feel with the Hybrid, and the Lucid is just your standard Lucid. The Hybrid's got a little bit of give. It really sticks to your fingers nice like Hybrid does. And LUCID-X is very stiff. It will not give, especially out in this cooler weather. It's very slick to your hands, especially when it's wet. I think it'll come in really handy in the warmer months of the year. Okay, on to the flights. So the flights where I think you can see the best display of how actually similar these discs are, yet the LUCID-X still has a little more resistance to turn, is when I did a little like two-step like walk up, but I still threw it pretty hard, like I would say like 70% power. We could see the Lucid and hybrids just go really straight with like a little bit of fade at the end, and the LUCID-X would go really straight with just like a touch more bit of fade. But overall, the flights were actually pretty similar. When I toyed with the angles, I tried to throw them pretty much as hard as I feel comfortable throwing a putter. When I threw them all flat, full power, like, well, not full power, but pretty hard like that, we would see the Lucid Warden go really straight with a little bit of pushing fade at the end. We would see the Waffle Warden do pretty much the same flight. Again, I think the Lucid and Waffle Wardens are pretty similar. It just comes down to the feel of hybrid. And then the LUCID-X would go straight like that with just a little more fade and honestly a little more glide. I think that flat flight plate, I don't know, it just seemed to go a little further. In these videos, when you see like the edge of the kind of driveway parking lot thing that I'm throwing towards, I measured with U-disc and that is about 290 feet, but with this slight downhill that I'm throwing at, it's more probably around 275 to the end of that. So that's where you're seeing some of these throws land. That's about how far they are. When I threw all of these discs with hyzers, we got a lot of the same results. When we threw the Lucid with a hyzer, it would kind of go straight on that hyzer angle and then fade, but it wouldn't dump fade. It would get the like wind under it and it would hold it up while having a pushing hyzer fade. The hybrid had a lot of similar flights to the Lucid, and the LUCID-X would just kind of fade a little harder, less of a floaty fade, more of like a persisting fade. But again, not much of a flight difference. It really comes down to that feel. And then on the anhyzer full or high power releases of these discs, with the Lucid, it on the slight anhyzer, it would kind of fight out and come to flat before it would hit that pavement. I know it's not ideal, but I know it's not ideal for the disc to be landing on pavement. I get it. I've seen the comments, but that's just what I have out here. It doesn't wreck them too much, and so yeah, there's nothing I can really do. And with the hybrid, I had similar flights, just maybe a little bit more of a fade at the end. And with the LUCID-X, I wasn't actually really able to get a very high anhyzer throw, believe it or not. I tried a lot, but the best anhyzer I got, it was a little lower, but it really held that anhyzer, but it never cut over. It always found itself to flat. So if you're a fan of the hybrid Warden, but you want just a little more reliability in the wind, you think it feels a little too deep, or in the summer it gets too tacky, consider checking out the 2020 LUCID-X Warden from AJ Risley. They do release February 27th online. I imagine they'll sell out very quickly, but since it's a tour series disc, we should see more releases of them throughout the year. So if you come across one and you're a Warden lover, I recommend throwing it. If you've never thrown a Warden and you like deeper beadless throwing putters, I recommend it. And if you're on the fence, I recommend it. There's no better way to figure out if you like a disc than to throw it. Guys, that about wraps up this video. Let me know what you are excited or what you think about the LUCID-X Warden if you already have it when you're watching this video down in the comments below. Let me know if you used to throw the Waffle Warden and you switched to the LUCID-X Warden, or if you're like me and you like maidens. By the way, I got one of those VIP maidens. Whew, that thing is flat and gummy. I also picked up, sneak peek, the Chris Clemens LUCID-X Verdict. I'm waiting till I get down where there's no snow, and I'm gonna be doing a review of all of the Verdict's plastics, so I'm super excited for that. Make sure to go follow me over on Instagram, and if you like this video, make sure to go click over there and subscribe. Make sure to check out any other videos that are recommended to you on the screen, and turn on those notifications so you know when I post, and until next time, I don't know, keep slinging those discs, as Brody would say.